Okay, so we're here. We are live. And you were just wondering if I had drawn our muse before. And no, I haven't. In fact, I found him on Sketchy, but through his wife, Miriam, who, oh, let me mute myself. Miriam is his wife. She posted the photo, and I really liked the photo, so I asked her permission to draw her husband, and his response was yes, use and abuse. So I thought, okay, so I thought it was a really neat profile, lots of light, but also some, facial structure, some bone, some like skull showing behind all this, which is really interesting. Okay, I was just actually reading about the weather everywhere in the world, and it looks as though Berlin is having the sun today, but pretty much everywhere else, or just about, we are in the rain, right? Daniel Desnoyers, is it raining in Montreal? Because it looks like the whole, east coast of the U.S. is pretty rainy. Okay, so we're gonna start, right? First of all, let me tell you that I'm getting more and more ready towards this new class that's starting on September 7th. And, it's going to be one of those classes where it's just, let's build this creative habit. It's going to be a little bit technical, but you know that as a self taught artist myself, technique, I'm not very, I guess, what is the word? Yeah, I'm not very academic when it comes to drawing, but I draw and I know why it works and I know what doesn't and so forth. So, it's going to be a lot of that. Two classes during the week, one on the weekends here live, and just drawing, pen, pencil, and Procreate. You're getting if you buy two classes right now at Sketchy Shop, look at the link underneath this video. You get 30% off two classes or more. So maybe it's time for you to pick up a class that you've always wanted. 30% off is a great deal. Oh my gosh, Nick, you're here. One of my former students, Nick Polk. This is so cool to see you here. And you are in Chicago. That's so cool. And Chicago is sunny. Okay, I take it back. Apparently, you're getting quite a bit of sun in the US as well. So great, 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 great. All right. I'm going to try to keep up with the comments, but don't be offended if I cannot see what you're asking as I draw. I'm just going to try to ask you to ask it again at the end of the session, and hopefully I'll be able to answer any question you might have. Okay, so everyone, are you ready? We're going to grab a number two pencil. Now, for number two pencils, I love these things, like these school pencils, right, with the eraser at the end. I love that I can just use a box cutter and expose the graphite like this. That's fine. But there's something better than that. And it's not expensive. It's just a stick of graphite, basically. Instead of having wood around, it's the entire thing is made of graphite, and you've got a little bit of plastic so that your hand doesn't get, too dirty while you draw. This is Faber-Castell, and it's called Pit Graphite Pure. And I'm using HB here, which means it's a number two pencil, nothing else. Okay. Ooh, I see. Hilda, you're telling me that you are from Chester County, PA. I used to live in Chester County. I used to live in Oxford, right by Kennett Square. And that's where I also went to school for 1 year, because I attended Lincoln University for 1 year to get certified to teach. So it's funny that you are in Chester County. All right, I miss going to like Westchester and all these nice towns. Ah, such a nice place. Okay, so HB pencil, in other words, number two pencil. And guys, this is the theme throughout my new class starting September 7th. We're not using fancy supplies. The only thing fancy is really the iPad whenever we get to it. So far, there are two Procreate My goodness, I need water to procreate. I don't think I have water here. Okay. Sessions during that class. But otherwise, it's going to be cheap paper, cheap materials, nothing fancy, because I don't want anybody to believe that you have to put a lot of money into starting a creative habit. It can be done with what you have at hand already. Okay? So, my family is doing well. Thank you for asking. It's my stepfather's birthday today. He's turning 80. It's amazing. It would have been my mom's birthday also a little earlier in the month. She would have been 70. Isn't that wild? Okay, so what we're going to use today is a photocopy paper. It's basically your, middle of the road photocopy Xerox paper. And I'm using also my clipboard so that it's a hard surface underneath. Because as you know, photocopy paper is very smooth, doesn't have any tooth. So in order to actually get some response from the graphite, it's always good to have something hard underneath. Well, thank you for wishing my stepfather a happy birthday. I'm going to FaceTime him right after this. It's going to be 7 o'clock over there in France, and it's going to be 1 o'clock here in the Eastern US. Yes. All right. So instead of chatting away, I'm going to let you explore what's underneath this video. If you want to pick up 2 classes at Sketchy, getting 30% off, you can do so with the code. Hold on. Let me give you the code at least before okay, SAS30. SAS means Sketchy Art School. Okay. So, all right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, so I might be a little scattered here and there, but I want to also try to complete this as much as I can. So if you have questions and want to maybe keep them towards the end of this session, that would be great. So what the HB, oh, by the way, I have my Muse on my little iPad right next to me. And this is how I'm going to do this. Okay, let me see if I can lower this a little bit. Is this good? Can you guys see? Okay, time to switch cameras because it's all well and good. But, all right, so what's going to happen with a drawing like this is that we're going to have, it's funny that I have some lines underneath from having drawn this thing as practice before, and it kind of transferred onto the paper. That's so wild. Kind of following what I did before, I guess. Okay. I don't want to waste any time, so honestly, I'm just gonna try to plow through this one pretty quickly. Ta-da! The light coming from this direction is really making a nice glow onto his face. I don't know Mariam's husband's name, guys. I only know Mariam is his wife. Oh, Margaret, you're here. I'm so glad. So glad. Sweet. Okay. Cool. Still trying to keep up with what you guys have to say, what you guys are saying. I'm going super lightly on the line of his face that gets exposed to the light, you know. And then whenever I find anchors like this, it's funny how my drawing from earlier when I was just warming up transferred. Oh my gosh, Sarah, you're here. I love when my former students come over and just stop by and say hi. Sarah Cowden, hi, how are you? Sarah, tu vas bien? I wonder, Sarah, actually, if you are back in college on campus. Let me know. I'd be curious to find out if your college is actually letting things reopen or if you guys are going virtual. It'd be really interesting to know. My first day back at school will be Monday. In a couple of days, I'll be back at work. Okay, so guys, here's what I love about a stick of graphite like this is because it's all graphite, you can draw as much with the tip, which is what I've been doing here, than with the side here. And this is what I'm going to do for the back of his head a little bit. I'm going to start, using those broad. Okay, let me try to do this right. There it is. Okay. Like this. Just to fill things in. I'm not making a big drawing today because I realize that when I do that, I can never finish. So I have to be careful. So yeah, I'm using pencil today. I hope everybody is okay with that. And I've been really enjoying using a very smooth paper like this, very cheap, affordable materials. And you'll see this is what happens in my upcoming class in September, drawing faces with France. If you haven't signed up yet, please do. You're going to find that 3 drawings a week, you can really build a nice creative habit. But one thing that I will insist on doing throughout that class is just keep things affordable, easy, anything that you have at hand. I don't want you to run to an art store to grab, materials for my class. It's just not going to help. Marcel, I'm confused, Marcel. I thought it was no longer called Holland. I thought it was called Netherlands exclusively now. And I thought they were pretty serious about this. Are you being pretty casual about how to call your own country, or am I completely wrong? I do believe I heard in the news that the name Holland has been shed for good. And that now it is now the Netherlands exclusively. All right. I was talking about like some bone structure. Take a look at a lot of interesting things that we have going on here. We've got some shadows here, and I'm going to say that there's going to be like a nice little shadow there, going down the cheek. Ears, I love drawing ears. Don't be intimidated by ears because frankly, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't get it quite right, it's still an ear. Everybody will know what that is. So in the Netherlands, we say Holland. Oh my gosh, of course you do. So basically, for the rest of the world, we impose Netherlands, which is 3 syllables, but you guys can get away with using 2. Nice. Okay. Cynthia, I think you might be confusing this with Belgium, where we have... oh no, it's correct. Ooh. Snap, I didn't know that. Because I know in Belgium we have Flanders in the north and La Wallonie in the south. But I guess it's the case too for the Netherlands. I stand corrected. All right. I love drawing ears, guys. Love drawing ears. Okay. It's funny because I usually don't draw much horizontally on my... Here, come here, Noah, real quick. There we go. You're good. This is the extent of brushing my daughter's hair now, because it's so short. My gosh, this is really looking pretty ugly so far. And Susan, excellent question. I really want to answer this. How do I sharpen the woodless graphite like this? The best thing to do to get this like perfect point is to use an electric pencil sharpener, or I gather any pencil sharpener for that matter, but something that will allow you to get just a straight, straight line like that. That's the best. I hope I'm getting the neck right. I think so. Okay. So because this particular photo is flooded with light, it doesn't give me much to say here in the, on the western side, but we'll find ways. Okay. Yeah, HB is a little hard to tell you the truth on such a hard surface, but I guess with just playing with pressure a little bit here and there, you're gonna get to a really nice mix of dark grays and lighter grays, and then this and that. And you know that after this, we usually head over to Sketchy Art School. We post what we draw in Drawing with France group, and we can talk about it. And you can ask me questions there if you want. Very light color of green eyes. Did you notice? Try not to overdo it. I'm kind of working as if I was working in pen here. It's funny. Okay. Oh yeah, and the ear is at a weird angle. Not a usual. I don't know. Maybe it's the way his head is tilted forward a little bit. Yeah. All right. So Jenny, tell us more as you go here, because I want to hear more about this. I find that the Apple Pencil is not necessarily the tool that wants to do that the most. So I'd love to hear how you make out. That'd be really interesting. Mm-hmm. Eyebrows, just consider it like a block of dark, and then you just sort of add some details here and there to make the hair look, the eyebrow hair. Just like that. That's it. That's all we need to do. Okay. Eyelashes. Every time I do this, when I use, like the side of my graphite like this, I'm making very flat lines. But then you unflatten all this when you come back and add, a little bit of cross hatching and all that good stuff. See what I mean by flat? Oof, there was something on my paper or under my paper, I gather. Yeah, just a little piece of, I guess, eraser. Okay. Funny how that goes. So yeah, this is still pretty flat and is kind of in need of, volume. So we'll work on that. This looks horrible right now. I'm not happy with this. We'll work on that. But that's something I say a lot: is let it look horrible so that it looks good later when you start really working on it. But don't be afraid of that ugly stage, of things, because it needs to happen. That is a firm belief of mine. I truly believe that you need to let it be ugly and then work and work and work until you get results that you like. I'm gonna flip things around a little bit, okay? And all of these lines are gonna create volume. Okay. Christine, I'm so glad you mentioned this because I'm usually such a fan of the 6B pencil that I don't really explore past that. But thank you for mentioning another one that could be a friend. Actually, I will make sure to check that out, Christine. Thank you. Okay. So, Anish, let's see. You were wondering about an easy way to do the eyebrow. There's not really, all you have to do is darken that area, right? And then you add a little bit of hair, like here, there, and then next thing you know, you've got something that looks, fairly realistic. It's really not hard at all, but as long as you let the hair, indicate that this is, this is hair and not just a block of dark. I think you'll be fine. Since I'm only using HB here, I'm going very lightly for the light areas. It's really all a matter of changing the pressure here, since I'm only using one type of pencil. Again, really keeping things simple. This is kind of one of my mantras, I don't know, someone is saying something that I disagree with here. Dice que nadie habla español, pues puedo hablar libremente. No puedo hablar español, pero puedo comprender, puedo entender todo lo que dices. Entonces, si hablas en español, si escribes en español, yo puedo comprender, pero no puedo hablar. Yes, I do have to try the Derwent pencil too. Yay, I'm so glad, Kelly. That's so great to hear that. Well, eyelashes will look spiky, so I'm answering your question, Catherine, here. They will look spiky, but also look at them really for what they are. They're usually just a mass of dark here with just a couple kind of sticking out here, and that's all you need to do. As long as you don't think of them as individual, like eyelashes. So, porcupine, that's good. Little wrinkles here and there. It's going slowly. Let me move it a little faster. Okay. And again, if I miss a comment or two, please ask me at the end. It's okay. Don't forget that there is a new class that I teach here at Sketchy starting September 7th. And this is going to be, one of those, let's draw, let's sit down, let's draw as much as we can. Let's do some technique. Let's not get too technical. Let's build a creative habit and let's draw together. Pen, pencil, procreate. But mostly when I do anything in pen and pencil in those classes, I keep it very cheap. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad, Catherine. Thank you. Yay. Okay, so again, going back to the side of my graphite here, just to lay a foundation and then build on that. And here too. Oh my God. Yep. I'm curious to know if I know, Jenny, you're drawing in Procreate. Okay, and anybody else also using the Procreate tools to do this? I'd be curious to find out. Well, we're gonna know when we get together at Sketchy Art School afterwards and posting in the group. Keep in mind, at Sketchy right now, you get any 2 classes 30% off with the code SAS30. Okay. It's funny, I always go back and darken even more. It's always a layering process, huh? Always. I hope you guys can all see, even though... Okay, oh my gosh, Henry, you are doing this in Procreate and painting this portrait in color. That's great. Okay. Nikira, you're on Procreate too. Great. Annie, I love this comment. No idea what I'm doing, but I'm having messy fun. That's great. Good, good. And now, just so you know, I'm pulling these lines down this way in the same basically direction as the cheek, you know. Yeah. Hmm. I really like this porcupine. That's an excellent little piece of advice. It takes off like choop, like this to make eyelashes. I like that. And some facial hair. I'm getting phone calls while I'm drawing here. I'm sorry. Phone call again. Okay. Okay. So, John, you say, is this the last of our wonderful free Saturday morning sessions? I do not believe it is. You will still be able to join our live drawings. So don't think this is the last one. We're going to keep going. Yeah. And Jenny, I hear you because I'm also kind of plowing through the less than attractive stage of the face and hoping to get to something worth looking at soon. My computer is making airplane sounds again, like it's gonna take off on the tarmac. Okay, I'm gonna say that the cup is like here. So when you have like the broad side of your pencil like this, you kind of um, save time. You don't have a great amount of control over such a broad stroke, but it allows for nice coverage. and I'll take it. Let's see here. Getting there. Okay. So porcupine, at the end of this, you can post in Sketchy Art School. And the group that we post in is called Drawing with France. It's a free group. You join, you post, and we can chat. You can chat with anybody else as well. Gives you an opportunity to share, ask questions if you have any. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, you can pick up any 2 classes at Sketchy, 2 or plus, for 30% off with the code SAS30, SAS meaning Sketchy Art School. All right. My God, that posture is horrible. If I did this for more than 1 hour, I know I would get some form of backache. Okay. Okay. So by curving my lines that I'm adding on top of my initial layer, I'm creating the shape of his cranium. Kind of showing the roundness of it, you see? A little bit. Okay, I hope my proportions are still right. I think they are. I hope I'm not too far off camera sometimes when I move my paper around, you know, for cross-hatching purposes. I tend to get lost in that gesture and then forget about the fact that I'm even on camera. the side of my graphite is actually kind of going over beyond the skull itself. It's funny. There we go. So when I see you next week, which will be September 5th, I believe, we're going to be 2 days away from starting my new class, my new September class. And I hope you guys are not buying anything crazy for it. It's just going to be a lot of cheap pencils, cheap paper, cheap pens, nothing fancy. Okay, so we're slowly building the shape of a skull here. I know I call it a skull when it's really a head, but I've got this, anatomy in the back of my mind that tells me, don't lose track of the roundness. Mm-hmm. It's just about the amount of pressure that you're going to choose to put on your HB pencil that makes it behave differently. See that? That's it. Ta-da! Flipping things around a little bit. This allows for a nice, stark shadow here. Bless you. it's starting to take shape. Good question, Gustavo. I'm going to address this when you finish work in pencil like this. Do I use something to avoid like the smearing of it? If it's, for example, something that I do for commission, of course I would. But it's just for myself. No, they just end up in a box. They end up being put away anyway, and they never really come back out. So no, I don't bother. But ideally, if I do something that needs to be shown or given to someone, I will spray with, let me see if I have it here. Hmm, I don't see it right here, but it's probably in the other room. Hairspray, very like extra hold hairspray can do the trick. Plus, it smells good. So yeah, okay, cool. And you can spray, you know, fair amounts of hairspray indoors, whereas the special stuff that they use for fixating pencil can be really dangerous to spray indoors. So hairspray is just easier to find in the stores too. There's another example of me not having art stores around or art supplies around at my disposal. All right. The hatching that I'm doing in a way is very compatible with facial hair because the little bit of marks that you're doing with your pen or pencil um, kind of give the impression of stubble. And you're welcome, Gustavo. What time is it? Okay, we have about 10 more minutes. I think I'll be done in that time. Again, drawing not too big does allow me to actually do things within an hour. Um, okay, good question, Jackie. This is really interesting. I should draw the cup because it makes no sense not to. Just suggesting it, maybe like this, right? And suggesting the hand as well. But beyond that, I wish I had more time. It's just that in an hour, I really have to limit myself to the essentials. So that's why you rarely see me go beyond a face when I do these lives. And in my lessons too, because it's tricky to do a lesson and go into get lost in the details of look the shirt and so forth, and so yeah. No, Jackie, I think my technique would very much be the same, but I would definitely keep what is bright, extremely bright, like not touch it, and really push the areas of dark so that the plastic, that very smooth feel would really come through. Yeah. Oh, Irina, I never had that issue with the page turning yellow because I usually use a paper. Usually, if I use nice paper, right? Paper that's already cream colored. So if it does turn yellow, either it's insignificant and kind of goes well with the paper anyway, because I rarely draw a nice drawing that will deserve to be sprayed um, on white paper. So, but yeah, I believe you that it becomes yellow, definitely. Oh my goodness, I did not know anything about Spectrafix, which is non-toxic, odorless fixative. Well, I'm off to Amazon after this, I guess, huh? Right? And Annie, I never did an ear class. We did eyes, we did beard. Um, we never did one exclusively on ears, but my gosh, that would be a blast. I would love to just teach how to draw ears from all angles. Love that, Annie. That's a brilliant idea and maybe something for the future. Absolutely. I hope I'm answering questions here and that you're happy with the answers. Okay, so I'm really going to end as soon as I mean, I really would love to go further into the neck area, to tell you the truth. Don't have the luxury of time. Okay, I hope I'm not off camera too much. Okay. Cindy, good point about Mike's class. I know that he has a formal training that I certainly do not have since I never went to art school. All I did was draw, and I have no idea what Loomis method is. I don't know. And for the basic, Pamela, that's such a great question. For the basic structure of the face, this is not something that I usually can go into during a live. But if you check out the classes that we have at Sketchy, we have some really amazing, very elementary. I don't mean to use this term, in a negative way, but very elementary classes where we explain that. So if you want to just take a look at what we've got going on at Sketchy, you will find it. And don't forget that you get 30% off with the discount SAS 30. Okay, so I've got volume. You can't see it very well. I'm going to bring this a little closer to the camera. Okay, do you see the marks now? Do you see how these marks have just followed the curve of the cheek and the cranium here? And so basically this is how I convey the volume of a face and a head in general. And now I'm just going to enforce a little bit of tone here and there, especially here. This is where there's quite a bit of depth. See that, you guys? Boom. Okay, and now that I've got my head just about completed, if you want to ask me any question about, for example, my upcoming class, starting September 7th, which will be a week from now plus 2 days. So we're going to have another Saturday like this. I would love to know, by the way, on Sketchy Art School, when you post yours, let me know what you would like. Would you like me to do another pencil one next week? Would you like me to go into pen, like, using this big pen, which is one that I'm using during my class in September, this very medium big pen, ballpoint, or whether you would like to see a Procreate lesson. The only thing about doing Procreate live is that this particular camera that I use um, is not great with showing the screen of the iPad. So I hesitate to do a lot of live with Procreate for that reason alone, even though I love drawing in Procreate. But if you want to um, ask me to do a specific medium for next week, ask me in Sketchy Art School, please. I'm so glad that a lot of you signed up already. Thank you so much. Yes, and yes, Teresa, good point. It is really all about pushing the darks against the lights. Absolutely. Okay. And I love that some of you prefer pen. To tell you the truth, I have a huge love affair with ballpoint pen. Yes, okay, I'm so glad you're saying big. So if you want to confirm that in Sketchy Art School when you post your drawing, I will be happy to draw in pen or in pencil. I'll look at what I have the most of for next week, and I will try to heed your demands. But yeah, I do love drawing in pen. The thing is, though, in pen, we rarely get to that level of completion because it's just much slower. Okay. All right. So, everybody, thank you for being here today. Thank you for those of you who have already signed up for the class. And if you haven't signed up for the class and you want to know a little bit more about it, please check out the listing underneath the video today. It's got a link for the class, I believe, somewhere. Let me see. Does it? Not sure, but once you're in Sketchy Shop, you will find my September class right there. And I hope you guys will join and draw 3 times a week with me. We are at 59 minutes and 39 seconds. And I see that there's a lot of preference for pen for next week. So again, let's take a look at what you say in Sketchy Art School. Okay, I'm so glad you're signing up for the class. That's great. And you can grab any other class for 30% off with the code SAS30 at Sketchy Shop. Margaret, I'm so glad that you could make it also today. I wonder if you drew along. Thanks everybody. And I hope everybody's okay in California. I'm thinking of you, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, Chris. Bye, everybody. Besos, abrazos, as I always say. Bisous, everyone. Bisous, tout le monde. Ciao. I'll see you next week, okay? All right. Bye.